When I was 12, I was invited by my Boy Scout troop to go on a backpacking trip at Isle Royale National Park in Lake Superior. It would be 4 days of hiking around 40 miles through the mountains and forests of the island. I agreed to go, not wanting to turn down the chance of an interesting trip, and we drove about 2 days up to Minnesota and then took a ferry through the rough waters of the lake. On the island, we eventually stepped off carrying about 40 pounds of supplies each and began hiking towards our first campsite. By the end of the first day, I was miserable. I was tired, hungry, sore, being eaten alive by mosquitoes, and dreading the next week of hiking and driving back home. Mark, one of the older and possibly most badass scouts that we had, saw that I was having trouble and came over to talk to me. But instead of words of encouragement, he simply said, "Hey, you didn't come here to complain. Just keep walking and enjoy the view." And he was right. I kept walking and had one of the greatest experiences of my life over the next few days. That was an important lesson for me. As someone who never had any real challenges growing up in my life, I learned that life throws you curveballs sometimes, and that we have no choice but to man up and face them. I feel like the United States is in a similar situation like I was. We feel like we're headed down a bad path with no good end in sight. It is tempting for citizens of this country to give up on our nation and become cynical, but we really shouldn't. America is no stranger to hard times, but the people of this country have always pushed through and come out the other side the better for it. From the original pioneers who tamed the frontier, to the soldiers who won our independence, to the many millions who fought through the Great Depression, every generation of Americans has had to face down the problems of their time. It has never and will never be easy to maintain the nation that we love, but we owe it to past and future generations to try. The ability for us to meet challenges and overcome is in our blood, so I don't think we'll be seeing the end of our nation anytime soon. We need to remember that we are all Americans and that we all have an obligation to work hard towards fixing our country's problems. And I believe that we can, as long as we keep on walking.